Hey guys, thanks for joining us for episode 11 of the Reserve Team podcast. As you can see, we've got two special guests today. We've got the Baker twins, Max and Alex, with us, and we're going to do something pretty unique, I think, something that we've never done before. We're going to have a GOAT draft. So basically, we're gonna host a little snake draft here between the four of us, and we're each going to draft who we think are the greatest athletes of all time. How you guys feeling today? Feeling confident?
Yeah, I mean, I'm I'm feeling pretty good. I only really pay attention, to NBA and soccer, so I think my team's gonna be catered more to them. But I'll try and branch out if I need to.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Alex, how we feeling?
I'm gonna be paying respects to all sports, so I think I'll have some wild cards here and there. So I'm feeling pretty good.
All right, love to hear it. Tong, any tricks up your sleeve today?
Yeah, no, I'm not giving away my secrets, so I think
all FC Cincinnati players.
no, but all MLS though.
Donovan.
Sounds good. So we'll kind of have our version of the lottery right now. We're just going to ask Siri to pick a random number to see who gets the first pick. So maybe we'll go alphabetically. So we'll go Alex is 1, I'll be 2, Max is 3, Tong is 4. Hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 4.
Oh.
Noah Tong with the first pick of the GOAT draft on the Reserve Team podcast. Noah, how does
One
it
of the
feel?
last pick.
How does it feel to have the first pick?
It's a lot of pressure. I mean, the last pick would have been perfect. I could just take two at once and do that twice, and
now
but
I
it's
think
fine.
You have to pick the GOAT of all goats. Like
I know. I'm the pace setter.
All right. So Tong,
Uh-oh.
you're on the clock.
I'm actually going.
I want to ask who you guys think I'll take, but I don't want you guys give away what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm not telling you anything.
So I'll be courteous. I'm gonna go the great one, Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky.
Number 1.
I think that's a solid pick. He was up there on my board for sure.
Yeah, he wasn't
I
making
saw a
my-
stat. His if he never scored a goal, his assist would put him atop NHL all-time scorers. Almost 2,000 assists. He had 92 goals in a season. He's like the face of hockey ever. Like 900 goals, 4 Stanley Cups, 9 MVPs. Like he's the GOAT in a team sport, which I feel is hard to do. He like differentiated himself. It's hockey, so you gotta be athletic as hell.
Yeah, I actually just watched the 30 for 30 on him last night, and when he got traded to the Kings, they gave up like everything they had plus $15 million to bring him in, and he took the second to worst team and he led them eventually to like Stanley Cup appearances. Like he never won one with them, but like he turned that franchise around. And yeah, I think that's a good pick, Tong.
Franchise leader right there.
Yeah, it doesn't quite make my team, but good pick, Tom.
All right, Max, you're on the clock.
All right. With the second pick, I think I'm going to go with arguably the GOAT in basketball. I'm going to go with
Arguably.
I'm going to go with LeBron James with mine as my first pick. I think what he's done throughout his career, going to the finals as much as he has, with the quality of teams he's had, 4 MVPs. Who else? He holds the all-time record for playoff points. He's third all-time scoring list. Won how many? 3 different titles with 3 different teams now. So, and he's 8 and whatever in the finals. So I'm going LeBron. LeBron's the first one for me.
For me personally, that's a tough sell considering he's debated the best in his own sport. But I mean, I do understand the accolades there. So
yeah. And it's a personal thing. I don't know.
True.
I like LeBron. Yeah.
You are a big fan.
OH.
I hope. But yeah, I'm going LeBron.
All right, Alex, you're on the clock.
I know I'm picking. All right. The first player on Big Al's boys, coming to the dream. Coming to the dream. Stop. Coming to the dream team. I think this is not even arguably. I think he's undebatably the greatest quarterback to ever play the game, and has the best Super Bowl. I mean, most accolades and everything. The man's just been dominant, whether he's been at the Patriots, and we've already seen it at the Buccaneers. So I'm going with Tom Brady.
Oh, Alex Baker selects the avocado ice cream to the Big Baker boys.
I swear you were picking Mitch there.
Yeah, true. My man Mitch.
You were leading up to Mitch.
Hey, we got a new quarterback now. Justin Fields, baby.
How do we feel about that? Tom Brady, number one?
I mean,
No?
he has the accolades. You can't argue with that.
We're not going to disrespect Tom here.
No.
I think his case is even better after last season.
Yeah.
Agreed.
He moved to
Like
another
that's
Because now we know it's not just Bill. It's
Yeah.
like Tom obviously has something to do with it. Now, also, Tom had one of the greatest surrounding casts, maybe outside of the Chiefs. So there's some argument maybe there, but other than that,
he's also like what 41 now, 42.
the dude can win.
Yeah. I saw something like all their Pro Bowlers, they all resigned.
Yep. All 22 starters are back.
So just give him the ring now, guys. Yep.
All right. So with my first pick, with the 4th overall pick, my number 1 is still on the board. So that was great that he slipped this far. I'm going to go with who I think is the greatest athlete of all time and is considered the greatest Olympian of all time, Michael Phelps. I think just he has more gold medals than anyone. He has more gold medals in a single Olympics than anyone. 23 gold medals is crazy. If he were a country by himself, he would be in 38th place for most gold medals all time. At the time when he broke into the Olympics, he was the youngest ever at 15, I believe. And there was a stretch for more than 10 years where he went unbeaten in 2 events, like swimming against the best competitors in the world. So I think, those kind of just speak for themselves.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I remember watching Michael Phelps during the Olympics. Yeah. I respect it.
I remember only watching the Olympics to watch Michael Phelps.
He was my number 2. That would have been if I didn't go Gretzky. I was between him and Phelps.
Gretzky was my number 2, so we had very similar 1-2 there.
So cute.
Oh,
All right. Now this is where it gets tough for me.
I was gonna say, Matthew, it's your pick again, yeah.
Yeah.
As we're all soccer players, and no one said a soccer player first.
I'm still not going to.
That's crazy.
I'm just surprised. I feel
like team sports are so tough for me because there's like each position, and then there's like so many factors at play, especially for soccer.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here a little bit, maybe, and I'm gonna go with the greatest female athlete of all time, and I'm gonna take Serena Williams. She's won majors over an 18-year period, which is incredible. It's almost 2 decades where she's won a major tournament. She has 12 Grand Slams in this decade alone, which would put her second most all time. She's the only player to ever win 3 Grand Slams 6+ times. Only 23 players ever have defeated her multiple times. Think about that. How many matches she's played, and she's only lost to the same person twice, 23 times. And Venus is the person who's beat her the most because obviously it's her sister and they've probably played the most. And she has the most gold medals ever. She's tied with her sister, but those are just crazy. And she's been dominant for so long, and she's really changed the game of tennis, I think. So I'm gonna take Serena.
Didn't she win like while pregnant too? Wasn't that a thing?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And then she won her first tournament back after she had the baby. So all right, Big Al.
Oh God, I forgot it comes back to me this. Okay. Well,
it's me again.
No, shut up. Okay, I'm surprised no one picked him, honestly. So what do we? This is like I got like the 6 picks or whatever. I'm surprised. I'm going with MJ, Michael Jordan. What is he? 6-0 in the finals,
sir.
Yeah, I don't think. What else do I gotta say? You go to the finals and don't lose once.
2-sport athlete.
Baseball.
Disney on your own pick now because he played baseball.
Let me get rid of him. No, but I pick my pick, MJ, for sure. 100%.
Yeah, he's like the only person to ever average more than 30 and win the Defensive Player of the Year. Only 3 times ever have there been a stat line with 100 blocks, 200 steals, 300 assists, 300 rebounds in a season, and Michael has 2 of those. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I think that's my basketball goat at Max.
You're wearing a Bulls jersey. I thought you were gonna
Yeah,
pick.
yeah, yeah.
Nah,
Who's Michael Jordan going up
No,
against? That's all
okay.
I gotta say.
With the second pick, I was like, well, I know MJ's getting picked now.
yeah. LeBron just had to go team up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh to win his ring.
2 of them. He was carrying bums all the way before.
Oh, Ray
He
Allen's a
deserved
bum,
one
right?
after all that. Huh?
Ray Allen and all those guys, big bums.
No, not them. I'm saying the teams before.
Matthew,
At Cleveland.
at one point, Dellavedova was the second best player on his team.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah,
Best.
true. True.
Hey, he's had a nice long career though. You can't bash on Delhi.
No. Put him in the Hall of Fame.
Throw him in the GOAT list, Matthew.
Put him in the comments. That's good.
It is funny that Jordan dropped his 6th though. Like people usually consider him the
Yeah.
greatest, and then he's number 6.
That's
So
what
maybe a
I'm
steal.
I'm like in
Matthew,
shock.
that's who I thought you were going for.
So I got
It was tough. He was right up there for me, but I went with Serena. I think just her longevity just
Yeah.
kind of outplayed itself. All right, I believe we're back to Max now.
Okay. All right, with my second GOAT, my pick is going to be, I'm going to pick the first soccer player. I'm going to pick Lionel Messi. I think he's 100% the GOAT in soccer, what he's done for the game. He's got 6 Ballon d'Ors. He's got 3 UEFA Best Player in Europe. He's won the Champions League 4 times, won La Liga like 6 times, 7 times. The man's done it all. I don't know, 6 Ballon d'Ors, like that is crazy. Like his consistency since he was a youth at Barcelona all the way till now is literally like unimaginable.
so I was
Honestly.
actually
And the numbers he's still putting up, like I forget the stat I saw this year, but I think he already has like 20 plus goals or something. I forget, like this season or like just this year alone. And like last year he was coming off a 20 plus goal, 20 plus assist season. So like, yeah, give me Messi. Give me Messi.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. You didn't even mention the calendar year where he scored 8
That's what I
billion
was-
goals.
Yeah, and
So,
went over 90 goals.
yeah.
that's
He
just
doesn't have a World Cup, does he?
And he went to the final of the World Cup. Yeah.
He's a
Did he win it? I don't remember. That's just a question.
That was Germany.
Tom.
I'll see myself out.
I was gonna say,
Kong just poking, making sure that Max has sound logic behind his pick.
I'm just subtly saying why he's not up there. You know, oh, he didn't win a final, did he? In the World Cup?
you can do
Oh,
it, and I can't judge
And
you.
Max said it.
I was saying something that Messi, when he was like first came on the scene, when he was a sub still, he scored 22 goals off the bench.
Oh, and I saw this past Barca game, I forget who they played. Griezmann was man of the match, and that was the first time for either teams where Messi wasn't man of the match for the whole year or something like the whole La Liga season. Yeah, like it's
Imagine
crazy.
that, win or
dude.
loss.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Even in losses?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It's insane.
So Max has gone LeBron and Messi, right?
Yeah, expected.
Max
So
is
he's
current.
gone right into the heat of the debate for the Ronaldo versus
He really
Messi and the LeBron versus Jordan.
Oh yeah.
But I think CR7 will be picked up by someone. I think. I don't know.
Alex,
Not me.
you're giving away draft board.
Yeah.
Well,
All right. Is it back to me?
It
Tom-
is.
So I have 2 in a row, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh dang. From the end.
So I have somebody who's next on my big board. He's there. I don't know if I want to take that person,
Doubting himself.
Already.
but I know who I want to take next after that.
So what are you thinking first?
All right. I'm going to go Usain Bolt.
Ah,
He is the current world record holder in a bunch of events. He's 11-time world champion, 19 gold medals, and like he's just somebody who you just knew he was going to win every time. Also, I'm jealous of his speed. I think Gracie could probably compete, but we'll never know, I guess. Yeah, I just want like that kind of athleticism, like get him on my squad, you know? I need that. I need that in my team.
He's a big guy.
I saw theoretically, like if you were to take his speed and put him in the long jump, like he could have won by like 2 feet, which is ridiculous. So like maybe if he would have even tried other events, he would have more records, which is just crazy to think about. And he's like, when he's finishing like racing the next fastest people in the world, he's like laughing and smiling and having a good time. Like,
oh yeah, like that one.
That was. I wanted an Olympian too, so that I secured one right here in this round.
The token Olympian,
of course. So started third round. I'm gonna go a little offbeat here.
Oh.
But I'm gonna go with possibly the greatest winner of all time.
Oh,
falls to the third round. I'm going Joey Chestnut.
That's class.
That's a big pick.
That's class.
13 Nathan's hot dog titles, more titles in a single event than anyone ever, more than Bill Russell, Jordan, you name it.
LeBron,
and
Messi.
Yeah, just keep anyone picked already. This should have been number one. I should have taken him. What I found funny is it doesn't stop at hot dogs. Just to name a few: Waffle House championships, hamburger championships, grilled cheese sandwich, deep fried asparagus, chicken wings, ribeye steak, burritos, tamales, apple pie, gyros, donuts, ice cream sandwiches, and there's like 40 more. And he's won or been like second place in all of those. And like there's videos of him online just eating like 40 Big Macs in like 5 minutes essentially. Like he's a winner. And I like, to me, like that's a sport if you're going to be that competitive and trained to that degree. So
and he kills his competition too every time. Like it's not even a competition.
And he has no shame, just like how he devours everything.
Yeah, so I did a deep dive on Joey as well. He's on my big board, and 43 current world records. Like that's crazy. And he single-handedly like changed the game. Like when Kobayashi was around, and then Joey Chestnut came in, like he changed. Like he's training for this stuff. Like it's not just like he's showing up and pounding some hot dogs. Like he does like a jaw workout and all kinds of stuff that he like does to get ready for this. So yeah, dude's a winner.
I don't know how like he does what he does.
Consistently.
Like, it's got to be so unhealthy.
He's like, oh, I ate 70 hot dogs last year. Let me eat 80 next year.
like at this point, why does he still do it? Like that's just insane.
Right? Yeah.
Like he's already proven. I don't know. But thank you. You got my big board.
He's the best.
Joey Chestnut. Wow.
I have Gretzky, Usain Bolt, Joey Chestnut.
That explains you perfectly.
Unit.
Such a banter team.
Okay, so
Tom, who's your captain? Chestnut?
No, it's gotta be the great one.
Oh, okay. Respect.
Okay, so with my third pick, I've been slowly getting more into boxing, MMA kind of, and one person, I'm more talking about boxing. One person that stuck out to me and just growing up with him, but like throughout the course of his boxing career was where he was shining. Give me Floyd Money Mayweather. I think, yeah, why not? He fought 50 times. He's 50-0, and out of those 50 times, he's won by knockout 27, and he hasn't lost one. So 50 times boxing, hasn't lost one.
He's been fighting no one though, Logan Paul and stuff like that.
I don't think that's happened yet.
I know. I'm putting money on Logan Paul, by the way.
Logan Paul gets like 30 pounds on him or something like that, and I think Floyd will still knock him out easy.
Yeah, it's Floyd's
He's
gonna
gonna foot on
Just
the
dodge.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. His dominance is crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the amount of
and
money.
his size too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, we're moving.
Big Al.
Well, okay. Well, I said this guy was gonna get picked up eventually, and I think I'm gonna go ahead with him. So I'm going with CR7, Cristiano Ronaldo. How many Ballon d'Ors he got? 5. Messi one more. Yeah. Well, he's got Euros with Portugal, something Messi doesn't have. At max.
World Cup final.
Mr. Champions League top scorer. He's got almost the most international goals too, like number 2 on that list as well. So kind of makes sense to me to go with Ronaldo. Been consistent ever since.
How many Champions League does he have?
How many Champions League does he have? I think he's got 4 with Madrid and 1 or 2 with United.
Is it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he won 1 Ballon d'Or with United and the rest at Madrid. So that's pretty. That shows his longevity too, I'd say.
And to win 2 Ballon d'Ors with 2 different clubs.
Literally what I just said, but yeah.
What do you say?
As soon as Alex mentioned him, I knew he was going on to Alex's team.
I think I have the best squad so far.
I don't know.
No, I think I do.
Alex, who do you have? Tom Brady, Cristiano, and
Michael Jordan, all winners.
Well, everyone we mentioned are winners.
No, but these guys are different.
We'll debate it at
They
the
win
just because you
different.
picked them, Alex, doesn't make them.
They're all big house boys. Do you guys not see this?
So with my next pick, I'm gonna go who I consider the greatest golfer to ever walk the greens. I'm gonna go with Tiger Woods. Once again, his dominance over long stretches of time. From like 97 to 2013, he was combined 126 strokes under par in all competitions, and he was 251 strokes in front of the second place person. So that is just crazy to think about how crazy that is. He's won 5 or more titles in 10 different years, which is ridiculous. He's the only player to ever win the Tiger Slam, which is like to win the US Open, PGA Championship, and the Masters in a row. And he has the largest victory in a major by more than 15 strokes, and he holds the longest streak of consecutive cuts made in the PGA Tour of 142. Obviously, things have taken a little bit of a turn recently. Hopefully, he's able to swing the club soon again. But I think he's the greatest golfer to ever grace the greens.
He's got a video game after him, so.
True.
Did you guys play that? I don't think I ever did.
No, but
I did.
He's got a video game named after him, Max. Okay.
I was just asking.
All right. This is where I don't know what I want to do.
No Jack Nicklaus, huh?
Nope. Tiger.
Give me Bubba.
Bubby wants Bubba.
I think I'm actually going to reach on my big board a little bit, and I'm going to go with
Your final pick, right?
No.
no, this will only be my 4th.
Oh,
But-
and then
Are we doing 4 and a coach or 5 and coach?
I thought it was 4 and a coach, but we can do
I can
5.
be here all day, boys.
Let's do 10.
We can do 4 and a coach. This will be my last pick then.
Oh, crap. Okay.
All right, to round out my team.
We can do 5.
I'm running out of people, man.
If you didn't.
All right,
I'm
be the last one.
serious. I'm running out.
This is the last round.
All right. 4 and a coach.
4 and a coach. Okay.
All right. I am going to go with Jim Brown. He was a running back in the day. He has the highest yards per carry per game. He is in the football and lacrosse Hall of Fame, so 2-sport athlete. He has the most games with 24 or more points, most touchdowns per game, most games with 4 or more touchdowns. He holds more than 5 records in the NFL, and I think a lot of them will live on for a long time. I don't think anyone's going to touch any of these. So I think just the fact that he's in 2 different Hall of Fames, his records have lasted this long, and I don't see them being broken anytime soon. And so I'm going to go with Jim Brown to round out my team.
The 2-sport part of him, or like multiple sport part of him, I think is a good case for him. Do you think like the fact that he, like, I don't know if he'd get as many touches now, you know what I mean? Do you think that inflates him a bit?
Yeah, and so that's why I think part of the reason is his records won't ever be broken because it's such a passing league now. But even, I mean, guys don't even play as many snaps. Like he was playing every snap of every game, and so he's getting touches, and it was a pound and ground. So I do think those do inflate his stats a little bit, but that was also just the turn of the times. Like all the passing records are going to be broken now because passing record, like everybody throws the ball. So it's tough to compare eras, I think, but I just think those numbers are just crazy even to think about now. Like even so, if you do the 24, he averages 24 points a game. Like even if you think about a quarterback, he has to throw 4 touchdowns a game to average 24 points accounted for. So like it's still pretty tough numbers to compete with.
All right. So to round out my team, the fourth member of Big Al's boys, I'm going with he floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee, Muhammad Ali.
I think that's a good pick.
Thank you, Matthew. I think he has about, if I could look it up real quick, but I was scrolling through like who greatest players of all time, greatest athletes, and I think his record's like he's got over 50 wins, and like more than half of them, I think like 35, 33 or something like that of them are knockouts. So the late the great Muhammad Ali. And to the squad.
I think that's a good pick.
Thank you. Compared to Jim Brown, yes it is.
Why are you hating on Jim Brown just because you don't know who that is, Alex?
I'm surprised you didn't go with like I was looking at Federer.
He's on my list. We can kind of talk more about that after because Max is stealing picks now. So.
Yeah.
Max,
No. I got
it down.
Did you see me go? Oh, Federer. I forgot about him.
I didn't want to go too tennis heavy. I already have a tennis player, so I didn't want to go.
I was like
double.
Big tennis guy.
Oh yeah.
I got someone. I'm gonna just go with him. Okay. For my last pick, I'm going to go with Peyton Manning. I think. No, not Peyton Manning.
If your
No,
team,
no. I
I
mean,
can see why. But
huh?
I can see why, but there's
I mean, 2 Super Bowl champions. He was a Super Bowl MVP, 5 times NFL MVP. He did it with both Colts and Broncos. Comeback player of the year, offensive player of the year 2004, and then almost a year later got it again. First team All Pro throughout his whole year, or throughout his whole career. I mean, yeah, and I just growing up watching football, he was one of the main guys that I used to watch, obviously, because we were Colts fans. So, yeah, give me Peyton Manning. Why not? I don't know.
I think what bolsters his stock is the fact that he had multiple neck surgeries and was able to come back and play at a high level and win another Super Bowl.
Exactly. That's why he's on the team.
I don't know if I would have gone him for football next though.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can understand it, and quarterback's the most important position.
Yeah.
Arguably, so.
Well, when I was making my list, I was just like thinking of people in my head, and I was like, Peyton Manning's got to be one, right? I mean, arguably, maybe, I don't know, but
So, Mr. Irrelevant right here.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Dang.
Tongue's finding like the weirdest athlete,
No,
greatest athlete.
Best speeds.
I do think it's funny that whoever I pick, I'm putting below Joey Chestnut. I do think that's funny, but I was worried Roop would take him with his last 2 or whatever
He
because I thought we were doing
would have
4
come off
rounds.
the board for me.
Yeah. All right, fine. I'm gonna go Babe Ruth.
Respect.
He's like Mr. Baseball, basically. Two-way player at one point, 2-time All-Star, 7-time World Series champ. Played for the 2 most historic franchises that is. 12-time home run leader. Basically, like, didn't he like get him out of the dead ball era even? Like that, the game basically changed after him. And I think it kind of fits with my team too. Like I have 2 extremely in shape guys, and then I have Joey Chestnut, and
he could eat some hot dogs. Yeah.
Put up a competition
He
with
could throw some
Joey.
down. Yeah.
so yeah, I'm going Babe.
There were
Iconic.
2 times in his career where he hit more home runs than any other team. Like that's crazy to think about.
Damn. What's your
Like
team
it's so
play
tough
for?
because I've never seen him live. You know what I mean? And
Right.
like, there's so many other even people in baseball, but like, yeah, I think sometimes the name recognition even just wins out a little bit. So
I think so. You say Babe Ruth, and everybody knows who you're talking about.
yeah.
So before we get into coaches, are there any honorable mentions or anything else? Any other athletes that anybody wanted to bring up that didn't just quite make the cut?
Roger Federer.
No one had Pele.
Yeah, I was gonna say Pele.
No one at Maradona.
Oh,
True.
but
See,
Peyton Manning got
When I
picked.
was making my list, I was thinking like who I've watched throughout my life.
I mean,
So I was just doing like my goal list. So that's why Pele and Maradona like didn't make mine. But
Once you go like a little deep into it, you realize like this is impossible to do like
oh yeah,
100% correctly. Like,
Especially
yeah.
across all sports. Like
yeah.
one person that I had on my list was Simone Biles. Just, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah?
I thought that would have been a cool shout. Just just how many gold medals she's won, and
Oh, he
she's
has.
dominant
Yeah.
on the floor and the all around competition. I don't watch enough gymnastics to justify, but the fact that I know her name and I know that she's won a lot of gold medals
Yeah.
probably means she's really good.
Yeah.
Bill.
I thought about going like Christine Lilly or somebody like the women's team, soccer team. Like she's got like more appearances internationally than any man or woman. Or like you could go like Mia Hamm or somebody like that, or or like even like a WNBA. Like there's some resumes out there that are just like nuts. But in the end, I'm gonna go Babe Ruth. But
Bill Russell.
Oh, Bill Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's once again just a proven winner, just the amount of times he's won the.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to go Tony Hawk.
I was, as soon as you said video game, I was like, is anyone going to pick Tony Hawk?
Good.
Sean White.
Another
Sean White, yeah. True.
I almost picked Mike Trout, but I don't think he's the GOAT yet, but he will be by the time he's done. So for the potential, he was there, but
I
Mike
put
Trout.
Shaq on my list. Yeah.
Oh,
Most
yeah.
dominant probably athlete ever, I'd say.
And like there's like Kareem.
And and
Nope.
Kareem. Yeah. True.
You got like Deion Sanders too, Bo Jackson. Like
Yeah,
in
I
terms
had
of
them.
athleticism, like that was like almost something
Yeah.
for me.
I think
Jerry
if
Rice.
Bo Jackson didn't hurt his hip,
Yeah.
he would have definitely been on my list. But like the fact that his career got cut short.
Who are you picking over Peyton Manning? That's what.
I would have gone Jerry Rice.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. You
But I
know
mean-
you know more football than me. So that's why I was asking that.
Not
I was
really.
like,
I guess if there's another quarterback, I feel like there's.
I did have Jim Brown on there though, but
Thanks for the little respect, Tong.
I also put Kobe on my list.
I was going to say Kobe too. I'm a Colts fan, and like I don't know. I feel like Midwest people really love Peyton. So
Yeah, and that's probably some of the bias of growing up in Indy and being a Colts fan is that even I'm a Bears fan, but I root for Indianapolis when they're not playing the Bears, and so I liked Peyton Manning over Tom Brady, but now that Tom Brady just won his 7th, I don't.
Right. Easily go.
So
you had Peyton over him until now.
I don't know. Maybe up until the end of Peyton's career, and then once Tom just continued to just win and win and win, then
Gotcha.
I think it's hard to argue.
Yeah.
When they were both playing, I think there was some validity to that argument, but now it's just TB12
True.
or 7, or you think he'll wear 8 this year since he wore 7 last year because he was trying to get his 7th ring?
I hope so. That'd be sick.
That'd be kind of.
I really do. That'd be sick. It shows you how cocky he is.
It's confidence at this point, though. He can back it
Oh
up.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
All right. So coaches, you got to get a coach to coach up your squad. Are we going same snake? So are you up again, Tong?
I can be.
Or I don't care.
Yeah, I'll hit it up.
Yeah, so I'm good for it.
I feel like there's a lot of options. So
I do. Too.
I'm gonna go a little biased here probably, but I'm going Ferguson, Sir Alex, soccer. To me, the greatest soccer manager of all time. And I know it might be a little bit of Wenger bias in here, but
Yeah, I was gonna go for Pep.
well, you're not up yet, Alex.
Well, I was just gonna make the debate for it. On.
Yeah, but I'm going Ferguson. I think part of the reason too, like you can see how much United have really flustered since him, and I think that ups his stock a bit. He's the only person to win in Scotland. I saw the other day to win at Aberdeen, or like only manager for a non-Celtic or Rangers team to win since like 1984. Like that's just absurd.
Yeah, it is crazy.
And then I think he's the most decorated manager in the Prem. Everyone's always talked about how much of a winner he is and how he was just a man manager. Like he could always get the best out of each individual player. And if not, then he'd just send you along and find somebody else, So I mean, he always had the cash to back it up too, which helped. But I think overall, like I wouldn't want anyone else to coach. But
And think to like he helped Ronaldo so much with him like throughout at United. Like you remember when Ronaldo won the Euros and Ferguson's like, "Where's my boy? Where's my boy?" I'm like,
Oh yeah, I did see that video.
yeah, it's just such a tight knit relationship. Like you could clearly see you just meant so much to him at United.
They always had this like aura that they were gonna win no matter what. There was Fergie time where it's like, okay, they're tied or down one, but you just knew in the last minute of the game they're gonna find something and they're gonna pull out a victory, even when they weren't playing that well.
Fergie
time. I think that
Showtime Reds.
Max, you're next, right?
Yep, yep. So I was gonna go Sir Alex too, but since he took him, I'm gonna go Pep Guardiola.
Alex, I told you not to.
Yeah, dude, I was saying he was my second pick right when you said Sir Alex. I was going Pep. Yeah. I mean, everything he's done throughout his life at Barcelona, winning Champions League twice with them. He won La Liga 3 times or 2 or 3 times. Then went to Bayern, obviously won the league there, and then came to the Prem and has just been dominant with City ever since. I mean, he has how many Prems does he have? Like 2 or 3? Oh, 3. Yeah, 3 Prems, about to be a 4th. They're gonna probably, they have the highest chance to complete the treble probably. Yeah. Overall, I'd take Pep.
It's crazy with Pep. Like I've been thinking like to the time where he came and like when him doing his recruiting, getting the Sanes, getting the Bernardo Silvas, the Mendy's. It's like not like okay, they're gonna win the Premier League, but what else are they gonna win? How many trophies are they gonna win at the end of the season? Is one good enough? No. It's them always going like okay, triple or quadruple this year. What are we doing?
I think depending on how long he goes, his longevity, he could definitely surpass any other manager in the sport.
I think the thing that also that kind of holds him back right now is it's been 10 years since he actually won the Champions League. So I mean, and City seem like they're in a good spot to do it with right now being 2-1 up. So and if they win the triple, like City are so worthless.
Plus like his intensity and his how much he pays attention to detail. Like I've seen like videos like on the Amazon TV show or whatever, but like of him like moving all the board, like the stuff on the board and whatnot, and like yelling at all the players, and like that video of him yelling at Kimmich after that Bayern game or whatever, that just shows like I don't know how intense he is and how he wants like the best out of all of his players. So
and he yelled at him and they won that game, I think, by like 5 goals or something like that.
Yeah. So,
and I think just the way he finds a way to maximize the talent he has, like obviously he has a lot of great players, but even like in a season like this year where he doesn't have his true striker, no Aguero and Jesus don't ever play, he's found a way to manipulate his guys so that they're going to go out there and win every game.
Right. I mean, yeah, because he's found a way to fit Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, Foden, all in that position.
He doesn't even have a striker on the field. Like he's
like that's
they don't need it.
He finds a way
Aguero's
to
on
make
the
it work.
bench. Like it's crazy.
He's found a way to maximize his top talent guys and get them all onto the field at the same time, and you've seen the success that's had, and I think that's all right. Who's coaching Big Al's boys?
Oh, I don't know. Not Wenger.
A lot of soccer off the board already.
Yeah.
little soccer bias.
Bias. Yeah. I'm gonna select to coach Big Al's boys, John Wooden, because
Good pick.
ability is a poor man's wealth.
He gave me with the quotes.
It's under his name.
We should have done that. We should have just picked based off of people's quotes. Yogi Berra #1.
He would have to.
Literally, it's under his
go.
name. I'm literally-
Oh my goodness.
What? He secured 10 NCAA national championships in a 12-year period. So
7 consecutive.
was it consecutive? Well, exactly why he's mine. So
So for mine, I am going to go with another basketball coach, but I'm going to go with Pat Summitt, who was the Tennessee women's basketball coach. In her 38-year span of coaching, she won 84% of her games and never had a losing season. She won 2 gold medals, 8 national championships. She has the most Final Fours, most wins out of all men and women's coaching in Division I. Every athlete that went through her program that played for her got their degree, which I think is something cool that many programs can't say. And so, yeah, I'm going to go with Pat Summitt. I think, unfortunately, like her wins could be more, but her career kind of got cut short because I believe cancer. So just the fact that she was able to do that in a shortened career that's crazy to me.
Oh, sorry, Tom.
You go, Max.
No, I was
Thought
just
you
gonna
did.
ask. Was she coach at Tennessee?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Talking about you.
All right, guys. My take. If I didn't go Ferguson, I think I would have gone Summit or the UConn guy, Gino.
You know,
Oh,
Auriemma. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a really comparable record to at this point, and Pat Summit has like 22 Final Fours, like 8 champions. It's just crazy, like the amount of just like continued success. Like it's hard because I don't watch college women's basketball very much, but just like statistically, it's hard to argue with
Right.
that kind of record.
Yeah, I think Gino might have more national championships at this point.
I think he does.
And so does John Wooden, but Pat Summitt's third. Like that's nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, and like you said, her career is cut short a bit. So
Yeah,
I think she won like 27 out of 28 Sweet 16 appearances. Like
That's crazy.
that's wild.
And so she went to the Sweet 16 28 out of her 38 years. Like that's another thing. It's
Yeah.
like
That's nuts.
So Pat Summitt, she's got 8 and Gino's got 11.
and then Wooden has 10, and then Pat
Yeah.
Summitt has 8.
Consecutive
I'm
two.
trying to think like who they would have had. So like Summit would have had like Candace Parker,
Right, yeah.
Oh, she went there.
I think so.
I think, and then UConn would have been like
I mean, like the
Everyone in the
Maya
last
Moore.
decade.
Yeah.
True.
Everyone who's been the #1 pick in the NBA draft.
It's fitting that Root picked Pat Summit when he still hasn't gone to a WNBA game
True.
for losing.
Oh
Love,
yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
I do need to go to one. I actually thought about that the other day.
Let it be heard on the pod.
It'll happen. Oh, I'll live stream it on the pod.
Yeah. Stream on Twitch or something like that. Matthew, when you start saying basketball coach, I thought you were gonna pick Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson
Yeah.
Jackson and Nick Saban were my 2 ones that were left on my board.
Oh, okay.
Kind of thinking about. I think, yeah, Phil Jackson. Obviously he won 13 rings, but then the fact that he was able to like deal with all the big personalities he had,
Right.
that's crazy. Like the fact that he had to find a way to get enough touches for, MJ and Scotty and keep Psycho Dennis,
Right,
doing
yeah.
his thing, but like also letting Dennis have some freedom. And then
Mhm.
he goes to LA and Shaq and Kobe are beefing to see who gets the most touches. Just
Right.
finding a way to keep everybody happy and successful, I think is,
Yeah.
and then
he-
obviously,
And he wins a final there too. Like, yeah.
and
you
then
think Saban's hurt because of the NFL stint he had?
yes, but
Tough.
You do?
I mean, you also look at guys like John Wooden and Pat Summitt never tried WNBA. John Wooden never tried NBA. So like, if you're strictly talking about like college dominance, then
That's fair.
nobody's better than Nick Saban, I don't think. I mean, there are a couple, maybe like Bear Bryant or stuff like that, but in in recent memory, it's got to be Nick Saban.
I was also thinking Popovich too, just
Yeah.
because of his longevity and all what he's done with the Spurs. But
I think
Yep.
someone has to have like the most wins too, or something like, or like the best winning percentage or something. If not, if he already doesn't have it.
How many years do you think he has left?
not many, dude. He's getting old. Getting old.
Nobody
How-
mentioned like Belichick or anything like that either, though.
Oh
Who
yeah,
I
a
should
lot
have
of people consider him to
two
be the
times to get
longest.
back together.
dude. When I was making my list, I wrote head coach Sir Alex or Pep.
So if you
That
had
was-
third pick, would you just have panicked or
No, actually, no, I would have gone Phil Jackson probably.
that's fair?
Greg Popovich is 72 years old.
Oh, I thought he was like 60 or something.
I give him max 3 years.
Max. End of the season.
I'm serious though.
If he's lucky.
At what point does he just say, "I'm not going to win another one, so I'm out"? Like,
He's not going to.
right?
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Maybe
Who's the college football like Bobby Bowden? Didn't he coach until he was like
I think so.
really old?
You want-
Right. Who do we think had the best team?
I definitely like 100%. I think I have the best team. Max, you have Peyton Manning.
dude, I was watching this guy growing up.
Oh wow.
I didn't want to pick anyone like yeah. I already explained myself. I don't need to. But
Yeah, don't subject yourself to that.
No,
Max.
Max, it's your pick, but like it was.
I don't think that's a bad pick.
So let's do a quick recap of everyone's team, and then maybe we'll let our Twitter followers decide who has the best team. We'll do a poll or something like that.
God.
I'll make burners.
Tom's gonna win.
No, because
Why is that?
You got Joey Chestnut. We don't compete.
I mean, or it'll go the other way. It'll be like you pick Joey Chestnut as your all-time.
Oh, I'm not
Athlete.
yet.
I don't know.
People know Joey Chestnut, and it makes sense 100%. Like 2 and 2 go
The cultural-
together.
Yeah, people
the cultural fit.
people watching this are gonna be like, did Tom just say Joey Chestnut?
Oh.
And I won him over.
Come on.
I think overall, I think everybody had a pretty good team for the most part. I think Peyton Manning was the most disputed player on the list, but
Yeah,
that's
dude, I didn't
Max,
think it was gonna be like that.
Max, back Peyton. If people come at you, back Peyton.
Dude, I am. I don't.
I don't
I
know.
will literally tell them I pick people I watched growing up.
Alex, did you consider going any older soccer player? You had Ronaldo and Messi, but there's other ones out there.
I put
Other possessions.
Ronaldinho on my list.
Yeah, I was thinking about like even older players like Eusebio and like kind of that era too. Like there's someone like Maldini, Beckenbauer.
That's the,
The whole
that was the king.
Zidane would have probably been a decent pick too. I should have just picked the King Tong Henry as my fourth one.
True.
Kind of makes sense.
I had Beckenbauer on there, but I don't think I would have ever picked him.
Yeah,
But like,
me too. That's exactly how it was.
No.
no keeper in any sport. I thought that would have been an interesting pick, but
Yeah.
I couldn't justify it. But
I think goals and assists and all that kind of stuff always trumps
I don't think so.
saves and wins and that kind of stuff.
Neuer's not scoring 90 goals in a calendar year, Tong. So
it's true. But is he saving 90?
no, probably actually.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have picked him, but
Yeah.
it would have been an interesting. I mean, obviously I'd pick Joey Chestnut over an all-time keeper. So
Right.
Hey guys, well, thanks for joining us for our first ever draft here on the Reserve Team podcast.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you boys for having us. Up the Reserve Team podcast, baby.
Put that poll out. Big L's boys, number
Dude,
one.
I'm losing. I can already see people are gonna look at that list and be like Peyton Manning, and I'll be like, whatever.
you just gotta get all the Colts fan pages.
Yeah,
to go rep.
Adding
And you're
them.
good to go.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Colts fans will be like, oh, that makes sense.